All right, so hello. Come on in. It is day 5 of our Total Life Transformation. I'm excited. We're almost halfway through learning all of the steps that we're going to need. Good morning, Sabrina. Good morning, Glazith. I hope I said that correctly. Good morning, Iris. Oh, how's everyone doing today? Eva, Ken Dog, what's happening? Nurse Babe, how are things going? Kim, how are you? Welcome to Total Transformation. I am going to be providing you guys with the steps, tools, and everything else that you're going to need to become the hero of your life story so that you can fulfill your purpose and master your destiny. Through 4, please go to my YouTube channel. You can just search my name, Danae Dominic, in the I guess in the search engine for YouTube, and it'll come up. Hello, everyone. For those of you joining me for the first time, or even my folks that have been here for the past few days, where are you guys located? I'm currently on the border of Gulfport and Biloxi. Where are you guys at? I would love to know where you're tuning in from. New York, big city of dreams. That's all I know from that song, but I love New York. I have cousins that live in Long Island, specifically in the Amityville area. We just had a really big family reunion a few weeks ago, so it was really nice to see them. Brooklyn! Oh my God! So you know what, Jasmine? I was watching something on YouTube, and they were talking about the brownstones and how these people had redid these brownstones and were selling them for millions of dollars. They were beautiful homes, but I was like, that's really expensive. But I'm curious to know, living in New York, is it, I don't know. Whenever I see videos of New York, it always seems like it's so, all of the buildings, I guess, would overwhelm me because they're so tall, yet beautiful. But I'm just always curious about what it's really like to live there and to experience, not having a forest. Around my home, there's literally just a gag of trees everywhere you go. And so I'm just curious as to what would that even really be like. Anyways, didn't mean to bring all the attention to you, but I'm glad that you're here, and welcome everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you about the 12 steps of the hero's journey. Now, in every movie or book, there's always this 12-step process that they all go through. And why does every movie use the same steps? Because it works. It brings people back wanting more. Even if the movie is about a superhero like Clark Kent / Superman, right? It's going to have the same 12 steps that that's going to be in movies like The Lord of the Rings, where, what is his name? Bilbo Baggins, or even in the offshoot with the King Aragon. They all have the same 12 steps. So today we're going to learn about those 12 steps. We're going to see how they apply to our lives during our life transformation. Again, we're here because we want to learn how to be the hero in our own life story, fulfill our life's purpose, and to, master our destiny. Okay, so let's just jump right in. No reason to even wait. All right. So 12 steps of the hero's journey start with the ordinary life. Basically, the hero, which is you, me, whoever, right? You're living this normal, everyday life. You're comfortable. Things are familiar to you. And then you begin to start feeling uneasy. You become uncomfortable or dissatisfied, whether if it's internal or something external, but there's something going on in your life and you're immediately feeling like something needs to happen, there needs to be a change, or there actually is some type of experience and you're like, okay, what do I do next? Something's wrong. We need to make some changes here. We need to get back to how things used to be. But let me tell you, if there's a shakeup in your life, like 9 times out of 10, it means that you need to grow or you need to heal in something. You need to move to the next chapter of your life. So you're going to get a shakeup, in order for you to fulfill your life's purpose. Okay? So I want you to kind of think to yourself, quietly, like, has anything in your life been stirring up, right? Has anything made you feel unsatisfied, uneasy about things? Has there been a wake-up call where you're finding that you need to change something in your life? Just keep that in mind, okay? These questions that I ask you are really, you could just use them as something to ponder on, or you can even write them down use them as journal prompts later. I'm really big on journaling. I think it is a great way to not only release your thoughts and have them to stop ruminating in your head, but it also allows you the opportunity to really gain some clarity on what's going on in your life, what is happening. Even if you're not a big journal prompter, maybe even writing your dreams down in a journal will be able to help you. Especially if you're into manifestation. Sometimes our dreams, our subconscious will speak to us through our dreams. So if you write them down, if you're lucky enough to remember them, then you should do so. You can go back later and your dream may then make sense to you in the future, right? So step 2 is the call. The call is when you become aware of the deep dissatisfaction in your life. You may have been exposed to an experience or information, and you are called to do something about it. Now, I was telling my cousin's girlfriend the other day, and she's looking at me all crazy. Y'all know how I'm a clairvoyant and a psychic medium, so sometimes I'll people's ancestors will just pop up and just start telling me stuff, right? So I'm telling her that someone in her family, it's a mother figure, maybe an aunt or a grandmother, has come to me and is wanting me to tell her that she's going to have an experience and she's going to want to open up a non-profit organization that's going to help children somehow in her community. And her ancestor was saying but she needs to get her PhD, right? She's looking at me like nutso, girl, I'm not going back to school, but I'm just listen, all right? You may not feel like going back to school, but sometimes people, especially those who are offering to give you large money, right? They're going to be huge benefactors to your organization. Sometimes they want to deal with someone who has a title. And even though the title doesn't necessarily make you the person that you are, some people just feel more comfortable with giving their money to someone with doctor attached to their name than just Mrs. Clyde, So keep those things in mind. Anyway, moving forward, you're exposed to information, you're exposed to an experience, and you want to do something about it. So you, the hero, are now challenged to take action and step into the unknown. So how many of you have been feeling called to do, right? To do something, anything that's going to change your life. Remember, this calling may have already happened and you didn't act on it, right? Or it is happening now. So just think about that. And it could be many different things. It could be like you may be called to move to a new city. You may be called to advance in your career. You may be called to go back to school. You may be called to become an entrepreneur. You may be called to change your whole career, like in itself. You may be an accountant and be called to become a nurse because you want to help, you know? Or you're called to volunteer to support a cause. Either way, step 2 is you receive a call and you're in the midst of deciding if you want to take action or not. All right. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone who's new. My name is Danae. I am a spiritual life coach, clairvoyant, empath. I do offer one-on-one and also group coaching. If you have missed the previous days of the Total Life Transformation coaching, please feel free to go watch the full video on my YouTube channel, Danae Dominic. I upload all of the videos usually by the end of the day, by 4 or 5 p.m. once they're available for download here on TikTok. And welcome to everyone who's watching the replay on YouTube and in my private face group, if I could talk, Facebook group, The Goddess Revival. All right, so step 3 is the refusal to the call, or of the call. This is where you get the call, but you're afraid to answer, right? And this is because you don't think you can do it. For whatever reason, you have these limiting beliefs. You don't think that you are worthy. You don't think that you're good enough. You think that it's some like fake thing that's going on in your head. Like this is some just random idea, and not understanding that this is probably something that's coming from your intuition. It's something that you're feeling. It's something that is for you. One of my group gurus, Master Shri, he always says that when something comes for you or to you, then it is for you. Don't ever think that something that is being offered to you is like some fake stuff or that you're not worthy. It is being given to you. It's being offered to you. It's being shared with you because it is for your better good. All right. You can look up Master Shri on YouTube as well. He's amazing. He's a very great manifestation coach. I totally recommend that you guys invest in yourself and take any classes that he offers. So you don't take the call for whatever fears or reasons why you don't want to answer the call. But then you become increasingly aware of the fact that change has to be made, or you're going to start feeling some like real consequences. I know for me, I knew that changes had to be made in my life and in my career when it came to the point where every morning before work I was crying because I had to go to work. Right? The emotional distress caused by my job, right? The anxiety, the panic, the distress, to me is just never worth it, right? Not for no low pay, not for money, right? So that's when I knew that I had to start making a change and really get into my purpose and do the things that were going to make my heart sing. The consequences of not heeding to the call is true loss. You could lose something, not necessarily like you're going to lose, like your life, but you could lose your happiness. You could start just living your life, in on autopilot, right? You could lose your joy, your passion. You could lose your desire to really live and thrive, all right? And so with step 4, this is where the hero meets the guide. So some of you are meeting me, and I'm your guide. As a life coach, I guide you through the processes of improving your life, right? So you meet a guide, you meet a mentor, someone who can help you, someone who's going to give you vital advice, someone who's going to guide you through the steps, not necessarily, telling you specifically what to do, not telling you okay, do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but they're okay, well, these are your options, right? This is what you can do, and then leading you through the process and steps that you want to take. Your guide, your mentor, right? The person who's your advisor, that person is not here to save you. That person is to help you save yourself, okay? And so sometimes the guide continues to return to the hero and to help them move along through the journey. So with me, if you wanted to buy a package for coaching, we would work with each other maybe for 3 to 6 months, depending on which package you purchase. And then after that, you could move on, or you can come back and meet with me, just have individual sessions every few months or whatever you feel. But as your guide, I'm always available for you if you need assistance. So in your life, I want you guys to look back and share. Hold on for a minute, I'm sorry. I'm going to turn this fan off because it's causing me to get a bit congested. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. Let me move my camera back so y'all could just see my face. All right, thank y'all for your patience. I appreciate that. I felt like I was yelling because that fan was so loud in my right ear. All right, so in your life, who have been your guides? Is there a list of people that have influenced you, including mentors, maybe people that you were around when you were a child? Were there authors whose books that you read because they provided a lot of information, or you just felt connected to them in some way? So throughout the rest of the steps in the journey, I want you to make a note anytime a guide or a mentor provides additional advice or direction to you. All right. Step 5 is the threshold. Step 5 is where you literally step out on faith. You head on this journey, and you know that once you do, you can't turn back. It's kind of like when you're going through your initial spiritual awakening, right? And you're realizing that the world really isn't what it has been taught to you as being, right? The program is no longer programming. It's no longer sitting right in your database, right? And you know that now that you're seeing the world for how it truly is, that you never can go back to the pre-awakening, after COVID, we can never go back to pre-COVID, right? The world has changed. Maybe your views have changed. Maybe how you understand or relate to or see government officials has changed, whether if it's negative or positive. I don't know your story. I'm just sharing, right? Everything has changed. Everything since September of 2019, when COVID has started to like get released. The world has changed since then, right? So in your life, what decision point have you experienced or are you experiencing now that led you to want to officially start changing your life and going on a journey of transformation? What is the threshold, or rather, like, what is the pivotal moment that made you want to change? Thank you guys so much for all the likes. I really appreciate that. I got lost in my notes. Give me a moment. Okay, the pivotal moment. Imagine you stepped from your old life into your new life. What would that actual step look like? What would you need to do? If you had to right now, like if someone came and knocked at your door and was like, yo, we're out. We got to go. We got to do this. La, 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 la. What would that be? What would that look like? You can share it with me in the comments. You can write it down for yourself or you can keep it to yourself. I just want you guys to think about what you need to do. What is the initial step that you need to take on this pivotal journey to transform your life so that you can, again, be the hero of your own story, fulfill your life purpose, and take over your destiny? Those are the three main reasons why I'm here, so that you guys can get the guidance that you need or that you want, right? If you choose to use it or not, so that you can be. That's basically it. All right. So let's move on to step 6. That is the road of trails, right? So the entire purpose, the entire purpose of this journey, of this quest, is for you to heal, learn, and grow. Learn, grow, and heal. Grow, heal, and learn. Grow, heal, learn, grow, learn, whatever. It doesn't have to be in any specific order, right? It's just for you to learn, heal, and grow, all right? And be well and become your own hero, okay? So on this journey, there are going to be inevitable obstacles. There's always obstacles in every single journey that we take, all right? Your part in those obstacles is to learn the lessons, right? There's going to be challenges that you're going to have to face. There's going to be tests all the time. The universe is always testing us to make sure that we understand why we can't do and be, or why we shouldn't be doing the things that we have done in the past, because they will no longer they are no longer like a part of our better good, right? They are no longer what's the word? They are no longer serving us. There we go. Thank you. So as you go on this trail, you're learning the rules of this new world that you're trying to conquer. There'll be moments of victory. There'll be moments of defeat. But understand that even in those moments of defeat, you're just learning a lesson. You are to take from that what you need so that you can grow, and so that you know how, if a situation similar to that comes up again, then you know how to handle it, right? It's like what the universe will do and we'll talk about this a little bit more, is that the universe will test you and you'll prevail. You'll learn the lesson. But then the universe will send you the same exact test, but with different people, different situations, different smells, sounds, whatever. Your senses are going to be off because it doesn't look the same as the previous test, but it's literally the same test. It's the same energy, just different people are now involved. It's kind of like when you date someone and they have narcissistic tendencies, right? You get out of that relationship, you meet somebody else, new person, different name, different look, different smell, but they have the same energy. They have the same narcissistic energy. So now you're being tested again. Are you going to do the same things and be in that same type of relationship? And now this time, the relationship, the person is sending you so many red flags. Are you going to pay attention to those red flags this time? Are you going to get out before it's too late? Or are you going to settle? Or are you going to ignore the red flags, right? So you're going to continuously go through these tests until you learn the lesson, so that you're no longer finding yourself falling for the okie doke and putting yourself in similar situations that you have in the past, right? It's all about growth, right? Healing from your traumas. For whatever reason that you continue to choose the same person over and over again, or the same type of person over and over again, means that you're not healing from whatever trauma, and you're continuously being called to come back to it so that you can heal, learn, and grow. But I digress. We can get into that a little bit more later if y'all want to, but I think I was pretty clear. All right. Lastly, while you're on this road of trails, you're going to meet new friends. You're going to meet new people to add to your tribe. You're also going to meet some new foes. Okay? You might get a couple of enemies here and there. Again, it's just a test to see how you handle negative energy being thrown at you. Right? So, I don't know. I don't know how else to better explain it. But just know the universe is going to constantly test you until you get it, right? I think a great way to look at it, if you believe in the fact that if you fail these lessons, you're going to have to come back, reincarnated or something like that. So let's succeed in all of the tests now so that we don't have to come back to this place, because this place is ghetto. Earth is ghetto as hell. Come on. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm just having fun. Excuse me, I need to drink some water. I haven't been feeling 100% lately. I'm a little congested, a little heavy. This morning when I woke up, I was a little heavy. I wasn't sure if it was just, me and my energy, or if it was the Schumann resonance, which is the energy of the earth. Nevertheless, I was like, well, I'm here, so let's go. Let's get it together. Let me see. White Heart says, just in case no one has told you today, you are loved, valid, and appreciated, and I'm so proud of you. Oh, that was very kind. Thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate that. I personally have not heard that from anyone, but I say something similar to myself every day, but that's just me. Leo energy, right? Sleepy arrogance, as it's called. Now, step number 7 is the approach of the innermost cave. This is basically where you are going to be put in a position where you are going to have to face your innermost demons. This is the point of the journey where doing the shadow work, if you've already done it, is going to help. And then you might even have to do some more shadow work, okay? It's the turning point where the hero, you are the hero, goes all in, right? They understand that 100% of what they need to do, they understand that they need to put 100% in what they need to do so that it can get done. All right. There's risks that they know that they're going to have to take, and they understand that there's a part there may be some failure within it. Failure is not always a negative thing. Failure just lets you learn another lesson, right? So within the innermost cave is where you're going to find like the ultimate challenges. You're going to find your fears. It's going to be like the darkest places of you, your soul, your mind. There's going to be a lot of time. If you haven't already done shadow work, there will be a lot of time of you going within to figure out your whys. Why do you do this? Why do you feel that way? Why does this trigger you so much? Right? Where does this anger come from? Is this anger that you have just acquired from your own experience, or is this something that is generational? How do you heal from it? How do you move forward? Okay? That is the innermost cave. That is where in the innermost cave, that is where you're going to have to learn how to jive with both your light and your dark. You're going to have to bring them together somehow. You're going to have to understand that it's all a part of you, right? It just is what it is. It's a part of you, and you're going to have to learn how to utilize both sides. Because always just trying to repress your darkness, it's gonna like and we talked about this yesterday, how a lot of us have been programmed, especially in the culture of the United States, is where when something bad happens, when you're feeling poorly, or if you're feeling sad, you don't speak on it, you don't heal from it, you don't let it out, you repress it. So if you are someone who represses their darker side, you may notice that sometimes if you're feeling overwhelmed or extremely angry, that repressed energy will just like come up, and it'll just like word vomit all over whoever you're having any type of issue with, right? If that resonates with you, let me get some likes just so that I know that y'all are here and you're listening. Or if you know someone who's like that, I would appreciate it. Also, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and share this live so that other people will know what you're participating in today, and they too may want to be able to go on this journey for themselves. You never know what people are going through until you speak to them about it or share with them what you're going through. So in your life, what is your innermost cave? What is the one big challenge? And what decision must you make? And if you find yourself at this point now, this is the perfect time to start reflecting on your journey, which gives you the courage to see how far you've come, and that your life has been preparing you for this moment. Okay? I also just want to encourage all of you guys, just don't be afraid. Like I love saying this, fear is a fugazi. It is not real. It is not real at all. And it is used to hold you back from thriving, right? So there's my opinion on that. Now, step 8 of the hero's journey is the ordeal, right? So in the movies, this would be the part where there'd be a climax, there'd be a peak of the action where the hero must face their greatest fear or face their most terrifying enemy or foe. And one way or another, the hero will face death, whether if that is figuratively or literally. When I talk about like the death part of the hero's journey, I look at it like from the perspective of the tarot, right? So in tarot, there's a death card, and usually what that represents is is you releasing yourself from bondage or addictions, or you're releasing yourself from being attached to things that no longer serve your greater purpose. That's what that means to me. So in your life, what is the death that you will face? What is something that you know you need to stop doing, or you need to remove from your life? What is something that you're holding on to, although you know it's not right for you, but because you're so familiar with it and you're comfortable with it, you keep holding on to it. Excuse me. I just want to go through the comments. I don't want to miss anything. And how do I say this? In the part of the ordeal where you're realizing what you need to stop doing or what you need to let go, I just want to share with you that you may feel like a little sad during these moments, because you're releasing something that you've probably been doing or has been a part of your life for years. And so now you're going to be put in a space of discomfort because you're no longer bonded or addicted to or using whatever it is that you're using as a like placeholder for something that's been missing in your life. Does that make sense? Okay. So in your life, what is the death that you will face? What skills and experiences have you picked up along the journey that will serve you now? And what exactly must you do? Can you see that your entire life has been leading to this moment? Again, these questions, you can use them as journal prompts, or you can just, think about it to yourself. Step 9 is the transformation and reward. We have 4 more steps. Yeah. The transformation and the reward. This is where the hero defeats the enemy. They've survived and they've overcome. But more than anything, the hero has transformed. You basically have become the phoenix, right? There is a rebirth. There is a internal change, okay? You may have received some form of like power, wisdom, reconciliation, a treasure, like whatever that looks like to you, something that you may have received is peace of mind. Something that you may have received is, happiness, joy, passion. So, in your life, what will this transformation look like? How will you feel? What will be different? How will you be different? And what is the reward? What is the reward that you enjoy? And what will it have? What will it all have been worth? All right. Now, step 10 is the road back. This is where you've gone through your journey. You've headed back home. There have been victories. There have been defeats or failures. You feel the call to go back, to share what you've learned. But now, as you're going back, you're seeing, if I could talk, You are seeing that it's filled with additional risks, additional roadblocks, dangers. There's new villains. Again, this is just another test. This is just another universal test where you are going to have to prove that you have actually learned the lesson. This is where you're going to have to put in some action, right? You're going to have to say, oh no, I don't want to date anyone who is like that. I don't want to work in a place that causes me additional trauma, regardless of how much I'm being paid, things like that. It's in this stage of the journey that you actually either win the quest or you're going to lose the quest. And if you fail if you fail the universal tests, you're going to have to start all over again. So that's basically what it is. I am going to have to block this person. We're going to block them. It really is weird to me. It's weird to me how weird people are. I don't get it. They just say weird things for no reason. So anyways, you'll have to start the quest over if you lose. You may not have to start at the very beginning, but you are going to get retested again. Because the whole goal is for you to learn the lesson so that you don't have to come back, so that you can move forward to the next chapter of your life, right? It's like out with the old, in with the new, being positive, taking responsibility and being accountable for your actions, not letting people always trigger you. And if someone does trigger you, you have to figure out how to calm your own self down so that you don't go off the deep end, right? I know for me, when I went through this part of my journey, there was a point where I had to realize that people are used, sometimes they are used to see how you are going to react in uncomfortable situations. For example, people would just randomly text message me or leave me messages like just being extremely ignorant and mean or rude or disgusting or just saying really negative things to me. And it would be like people that I haven't spoken to in years, but they found me on social media and they just decided that they were going to say whatever was on their mind. And I used to become like the keyboard gangster and cuss them out and da-da-da-da-da. And then one day, someone said something to me and I was just like, just because, well, it wasn't me. I actually heard it was my higher self really. And my higher self was like, just because someone messages you, number one, it doesn't mean that you have to respond immediately or at all. Or even if someone calls you and you really don't want to talk to that person, it does not mean that you have to answer the phone. You have to stop giving people access to you. And once you stop giving people access to you, then they will stop triggering you, right? You have 100% the right to block people and set boundaries. Just because someone makes a comment based off of their opinion, it doesn't make it your business to have to respond. And it also doesn't make it your business at all. Whatever someone thinks about you, whatever someone says about you, you know the truth, you know who you are. You either can let them speak and say what they have to say, and you can just keep your cool, right? Be frosty. Or you can be all rah-rah and get upset and want to fight and argue and this, that, and the third. And keep in mind that the whole point of all of it was really just to test you to see how you were going to react. So it's up to you to just stay where you need to stay in your own peace, right? And not give other people so much control over your energy. But I digress. I was just wanted to share that with y'all. So yeah. If you win or lose, no, I'm sorry. Scratch that. If you lose the quest, you're going to have to start all over again. And some of the questions that I would like to pose to you are, in your life, what does returning home represent? How are you going to use what you have learned or accomplished? Who will you help, or what will you do with it? And at this point, what unresolved issues do you anticipate having to face? And what other obstacles do you anticipate will be popping up in response to your transformation? And what shadows may be lurking? Step 11 is the rebirth. This is where you, the hero, will cross the threshold, and you'll get the final test to prove that you have grown, to prove that you have learned something, and to prove that you have healed. And it's basically just a test of your mastery. Have you mastered yourself? Have you mastered your energy? Have you mastered your mind? Are you able to control yourself when you are in and when you're put in an uncomfortable situation? And how do you control yourself? How do you talk yourself down off the ledge, right? Like, if you're someone who does have anger issues, what are you doing what have you learned on your journey so that you're able to calm yourself down? What have you learned on how to quiet your tongue? Have you learned to just be quiet when you're faced with any type of negativity or adversity, right? This is the time where I want to say this is the step where the battle that you have been fighting pushes you and pushes you and pushes you to your limits, right? Just to see how you're going to react. It's not even funny, but it's funny how the universe, the creator, the divine supreme architect, however you resonate with whoever created our world, right? How it will purposefully cause things to happen so that you can grow. Like, it won't just let you be good. It has to make sure that you're good and that you are good and that you've learned the lesson, right? There's been times where I've just been like, okay, I'm done. Stop sending me these tests. I have learned the lesson, and I list out, this is the situation. This is what I learned. This is what I don't want to do anymore. This is what I'm not going to do anymore. I don't need to be tested anymore. Let's move on. I get it. You know? Sometimes you just have to tell them, yo, chill. Be cool. I'm just sitting here trying to watch my show, right? I don't need any more of the drama. I'm done with it. So, with that being said, for step 11's rebirth, let me ask you some questions. In your life, after transforming, defeating your foes, or reaching your goals, what final battle may you need to face? Is there another step in the journey that you need to take in order to fully be able to feel as though you are home and able to integrate everything you've learned in your life? What would it take to embrace your new self 100%? And I want to kind of add to that too, for those of you who have children, or if you have people under you, like younger cousins and things like that, share with them your journey. Share with them the things that you've gone through and what you've learned, so that if they are faced with those same battles, they'll kind of have a good understanding of what they can do with it too, right? Each one teach one, right? Share with them what you've been through. Be honest and communicate, based on their age level, right? This is something that I wish that my parents, my aunties, my grandparents, my uncles, people who came before me, I wish that they had the understanding that it is okay to share your life experiences with your younger family members. Like, we don't have to go through this on our own. We can help each other. It's our ancestral line that is being affected. So as you go through things, share it. Of course, always make it age appropriate, but share your experiences with the younger people, the younger generation, because they too need help and guidance. Don't just let them experience things and be like, oh, you got to figure it out on your own. My mama made me figure it out on my own, so now you do too. Like, let's stop that whatever that's called. Let's stop making people have to figure it out on their own. Like, let's help each other. But that's just me on my soapbox trying to share. Because every day I feel like I share with my son, like, hey, I've been through that. If he has an incident like at school or something within his friends group, I'm like, hey, I've been through that. This is what happened to me. This is what I did. But this is what I should have done, right? This is how I could have made the situation better, Or just letting them know, like, hey, you're going to go through these experiences in life. That doesn't mean that your whole world is going to end. It's just a part of your story, and you need to choose which path you're going to take, with the understanding that there's always going to be some type of disadvantage or advantage. It's all just how life is. But don't let life or other people control you. You control yourself. You control your mind. You can control your behavior. You can control your emotions. Don't let external factors have control over you. What do I want to say? Thank you, Grace, for the follow. Don't let external factors control you into thinking that you cannot do or be whatever it is that you want to be. There's no such thing as any type of glass ceiling. You are the only thing that is going to keep you from attaining whatever goal that you are trying to reach. It's all on you. It's all on you. It's always going to be on you to make sure that you get what you want. And so with that being said, whatever you want also wants you. So you have to activate your frequency to match that of which you want. If you want $1 billion, then you need to match the frequency of $1 billion and work towards whatever it is that you want to do in order to get that $1 billion, right? You have to work towards being in alignment with what is going to bring you $1 billion. That's the easiest way that I can express it, share that with you. But again, I digress. I say all that to say, share your experiences with the younger generation. Help them as they grow. help yourself as you grow. Take control of your life and raise your frequency to what you are trying to do, change, or transform. Because what you want also wants you. One thing that I like to do, and I'll get to the last step, but I just want to share this with you guys. When it comes to the things that I want, I'll imagine it in my head, and I will stand at the window, and I'll like pretend like it's on a cord, and I'll pull it into me, right? So you ever see like people who work on boats, and they're pulling up the anchor, right? That's what it looks like in my head. At the end of this rope that I'm pulling down from the sky is what I want. And every day I'm pulling it closer to me. Okay? So that's something that you might want to try. I just want to share it with you guys. Since I've started doing that, I feel like I'm a lot closer to certain goals that I'm trying to achieve, that I feel that I just have to keep working at. And I feel like I'm becoming more in alignment with the things that I'm asking for, because I'm visualizing those things being at the end of this rope. And every day this rope I'm pulling, and it's getting closer and closer and closer to me. Thank you, White Bear Reiki and Coaching, for the likes. I appreciate that. All right, so step number 12, and then we're going to close it out, okay? And again, if you're just now joining me and you missed this live, or you missed the previous lives, go ahead over to my YouTube channel, Danae Dominic, and you can replay all these videos. Also, I do post the videos like around 4 or 5 p.m. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching, or even being in group coaching, please contact me. You can go to my profile once this live is over, and you can check out everything that I offer. Also, please, if you would be so kind as to follow me and turn on the notifications so that you are notified of when I am live, when I post new content, or if I'm just sharing something really cool on my stories. Okay, so step number 12 is return with the elixir, aka haters gonna hate, aka they think they're better than me. Why do I say that? Okay, so when the hero returns from their journey, right, they've changed. They're literally living this brand new life. They are, they're not the same person, right? They're not, people will think that they know you, but they don't know you anymore. You are not the same, Freddie Joe Jackson. You're Fred now. You know what I'm saying? You're going to come back. You're going to have something to share. You're going to want to let everybody on the block know about what's going on, what's happening, But there's going to be some people who doubt you. There's going to be some haters. There's going to be some people who don't understand the change. And that's okay. Don't let yourself get frustrated from that. Remember, you are on your journey. They're on their journey. And they may not be at that phase or cycle in their life where they need to transform in that way. And some people may not ever transform in the way that you have transformed. Some people are going to have to come back and live another cycle on this earth because they're on the journey that they're supposed to be on. Okay? So it's okay. And also, when you do get to that point of where you want to share all that you know, don't force it on people. Some people may want to learn things in their own time. Some people may just want to ask a few questions and then research it and then come back later to you and ask some more questions, so don't feel, as if people, don't be so much in your ego that you start putting people down and saying that they are the sheeple, right? Because they're not at this level that you've put yourself at. Because technically, you just went through this journey, right? You are not necessarily at a higher level or at a lower level of anybody else. You're just at a certain space in your journey. And there's always room for growth, learning, healing, right? And let me say this to you from experience. I know that the next day after you finish this journey, something else can happen and it's going to totally, or could potentially totally change everything that you've just learned and gone through. And now you have a totally different perspective and you're like, well, everything that I went through, now it doesn't make any sense. But now this new information that I got makes sense. And now how do I apply that to my new life? And how do I change? And now you're going through a totally new journey because you've entered a new chapter of your life. And that's just how it is. We learn, we grow, and we heal, and it just keeps going. And I'm getting the goosebumps. And let me tell you, it's not because it's not... how do I say it? In my mind's eye, this is what I see. I see someone basically remembering that they are like an intergalactic spirit or soul. And they're on this earth. And they're going through this process. And with every step of this process, or within every chapter, there's more learning. So as you learn more, it's kind of like you get more light to your energetic body. It's growing and it's expanding. Until you fully remember who you are and you come into this just complete knowing or complete understanding. I think the word would be and if there's anyone here who understands the Hindu belief system, it's like you are at your nirvana. You've come to this place where now you are like one of the master teachers. Okay? So just know that there's always going to be room for growth. White bear, right? I always say that wrong. Reiki. Ain't it the truth? Every day new stuff. Yeah, every day there's something new. Samdi. Is that okay? So that's what it's called, Samdi. Thank you very much for sharing that with me. I'm just now learning about the Hindu belief system. And it's so it's relieving. I'll say that. It's relieving all of the questions that I've ever had. And also I'll even go into this space. And again, this isn't like for religious teaching or anything like that. But I honestly believe that, and I grew up in the Christian church, but I honestly believe that there's like a point in the Bible where like Jesus goes missing and he's gone for like years and years, and there's no like speaking of him. I honestly believe that he was going somewhere to learn about Hinduism, because when he comes back, he's talking about so many different, he's talking about things that are so similar to what I have been reading, like in the Bhagavad Gita. Anyways, I'm sorry, I digress. As I was saying, don't force people to like listen to you and to make the changes that you've made, because they are on their same journey. They are on a different journey, and they may not be ready for those changes. So my questions for you are, in your life, what is the elixir you are bringing back with you from your journey? Who are you going to share it with? How are you going to pay forward with what you learned? What difference age 10 to 20 something, yes, he did go through all those lands. I'll find the name. They called him then. Thank you. I would appreciate that. What difference are you going to make in the world? Will there be any haters or doubters? If so, how can you remind yourself that you didn't do it for them? You did it because it was your destiny to be the hero of your own life. And then, just to close this thing on out, because we've been on for about 1 hour and 7 minutes, and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every moment of it. I really love coming on here and teaching. I know that this is my purpose. I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Every time I think about this work that I'm doing, I hear that song, Order My Steps. It's a song that I heard as a child growing up in the church, where I now interpret it as me asking my Creator to put me in alignment with my purpose and the people who need to hear my words so that they can grow, and so that then my Creator can use me as a way of bringing people back to their higher selves, back to their happiness, back to their joy and passion, so that they understand that this world is for them, and that the higher, I don't want to say that they're higher powers, because it's really like the low frequency powers that now have taken over this land are really just using our fear, the energy of our fear, to feed on. But I'll talk about that some more later. So let me close this out by saying, regardless of where you find yourself along your personal adventure, the hero's journey is going to show you that you are where you are exactly supposed to be. Okay? All you need to do is take the next step forward so that you can continue this journey, so that you can heal, grow, and learn. All right. Now tomorrow is Thursday, and we are going to talk about how you can identify what you really want. So you guys come back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll talk about identifying what you really want, and we're gonna just keep on pushing through. White Bear, you said, is it Isa? ISA was the name that they called him. The Hindu view of Christ, name of book about it is Isa. ISA, is that what it is? I'm gonna look that up, and then I'm gonna go over to Amazon and I'm gonna buy the book. I love books. I cannot get over how much information is in books. And now, how can I say this? If you guys ever want to truly know something, read a book. Like in my occult bookstore, I have an occult bookstore on Etsy. It's called Dee Dee's Occult Books. You can find that link in my profile too if you're interested. I have digital books. And every week I'm adding more and more books. I have like over 300 digital like occult books. And these are books of like, you know, like in Pennsylvania, they had the teachings of the powwow, right? I have ancient like candle magic books. I have Master of All Ages. I have books that's by Manly P. Hall. I have all types of books. I have the books of is it the Book of Solomon, with like all of like the magic stuff, right? And as I've read those books over time, there's so much information in there that is not taught to us in like the regular schools, because I know that if we learned that stuff in regular school, we would be unstoppable and those teachers would not be able to control us, right? Enoch. I've read the book of Enoch. I'm actually reading that book again because some more things have come up in my life to where things are making more sense, right? So when I've read these books, they were like 4 or 5 years ago. And now I'm rereading a lot of them because I have a different understanding or understanding of what all of that means. Like how it all, like what it really means, you know? I'm looking at it from the perspective of being I want to say like decolonized, if that is the proper term here, because I've completely left the church. However, I utilize like the Bible, but also other books like the Inishu, other religious texts, other ancient texts, other occult books. And I ask for understanding of those things from my higher powers so that I can understand how to truly live the life that I'm supposed to be living, based off of the true like teachings, right? I find it really weird that human beings are the only ones that have to have books to tell you how to live, but I also understand that human beings are the only ones that have the ability to like be controlled. Deconstruction from the church, yes, thank you. Are the only ones that truly have like the ability to be controlled in such a way to where our energy is harnessed, you know? Anyways. All right, y'all. I'm going to head on out for the day. Again, this replay will be posted on my YouTube channel, Danae Dominic, by around 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. at the latest Central Standard Time. And I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. But feel free to follow me. Feel free to send me a message in my DMs. Feel free to schedule a one-on-one coaching or mentoring appointment with me. And yeah, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.